Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today is Bridezilla Saturday, with the craziest wedding stories from across Reddit. My mother just sabotaged my wedding. Posted by Reese Witherspork. For the last 6 months, my mother has been making my wedding planning a nightmare. To the point that I almost called it off myself, for the sake of my and my fiance's sanity. Let me be clear, my fiance and I have been planning it ourselves with what little money we have. My mother has only tried to control it without offering a penny. Since we don't have a very large budget, we decided a micro wedding would be more suitable, intimate and enjoyable for us and our closest friends and family. Under 20 guests. Apparently, this was strike one. On my side, I have a large family, with many aunts, uncles, cousins, nephews, nieces, and actually double if not quadruple since my parents divorced. On my fiance's side, she has her parents. That's it. This was also a deciding factor for us in keeping the attendance to a minimum, to not completely overshadow her family. So, we rented out an Airbnb, reserved an officiant. We scheduled catering. We ordered a wedding cake. My fiance bought her dream dress. I bought a custom suit. We hired photographers. We purchased decorations, etc, etc, etc. Basically, we maxed out our small but still costly budget for a micro ceremony, and it was going to be perfect as we envisioned it. Our wedding was supposed to happen 10 days from today. My mother has been telling me for months that she just doesn't get it. She told me that's not a wedding, that's more like an elopement that we're allowed to witness. Still not sure what the difference is. She's given us plenty of suggestions. Some we accepted, some we declined. One we accepted was to simultaneously host our wedding on Zoom, so the rest of the family and our other friends could tune in without being officially present. One we declined was to cancel the whole thing and instead let her organise the entire event on our dime. There was nothing I could do to help her understand why we wanted to do what we wanted to do, despite multiple phone calls lasting several consecutive hours. She has a tendency to rant. And she's done so many covertly heinous things along the way that I'm just gonna skip to the chase. I'm not religious, but my family is Jewish, and my fiance's family is Catholic. My fiance converted to Judaism on her own accord. It had nothing to do with me. She was already in the process before I even met her, and wanted a Jewish wedding. It didn't matter to me what kind of wedding we had, just that we got married. We settled on a Jewish wedding, because I am technically Jewish after all. All this naturally caused some division and controversy, but I thought the Jewish part might at least make my mother happy. More than my fiance's mother anyway. I couldn't have been more mistaken. My mother basically weaponized her religion, that she also does not observe or practice by the way, against us, continually telling us that we're making a mockery of the faith, and our wedding simply won't be Jewish enough. So, what does my mother do? She calls up my fiance's family to introduce herself, which turned into an hour and a half of her berating these poor people about their knowledge of Judaism, which they have little, and essentially goading them into saying something derogatory. She accuses them of anti-Semitism, not during the conversation of course, but sometime after, in a 15-paragraph novella to me, about the strong concerns she has for me marrying into an anti-Semitic family. Which is beyond ridiculous because my fiance's parents are nothing of the sort. Ignorant, sure, by their own admission, but naturally so, and certainly not bigoted. This was about 2 months ago. I couldn't keep this from my fiance. Perhaps I should have, in retrospect, which blew up into a family feud. Actually, my fiance's parents were just confused, and thankfully stayed out of it. But my mother went on a tirade that took about 2 full months to clear up. That's not a family feud, that's just one woman throwing a tantrum. Long story short, I thought we cleared it up. My mother apologised and the dust settled. Our wedding was fast approaching. Until yesterday, I received an email from our officiant. I was expecting an invoice for final payment. Instead, it was an explanation of why they will no longer be able to service our wedding out of fear for their safety. The forwarded message below theirs is from my mother, detailing who we are, the wedding we've planned, and various anti-Semitic threats that have been made towards us from my fiancé's family. All lies, twisted, manipulative, distorted, jaw-dropping lies. Given the rise in anti-Semitism, given recent events in the Middle East, I can't blame them for fearing for their safety. We tried to smooth it over and explain the situation, that there's no threat of violence and my mother is emotionally unwell, but they weren't having any of it. They officially cancelled on us and still demanded payment in full, and now our wedding is ruined. We won't be able to find another officiant in time, and if we do, it won't be the wedding we've been planning for. Plus, my mother is no longer invited, obviously, and we're concerned she'd show up just to cause more controversy. So, we're stuck, eating the cost of our entire budget for nothing. And now I have the intense embarrassment of having to tell our friends and family that we need to cancel. I told my mother to never contact me again. I guess my only question is my mother a narcissist? Yes. Edit. My SO's mother actually went out of her way to call a local synagogue on our behalf, and I think we might have found a rabbi willing to fill in. Now to high security, and we could be back on track. Fantastic! Sounds like your wedding will be even better without your toxic mother there to ruin it somehow. Bet she'd show up in white. Am I the a-hole for announcing my pregnancy a week before my sister's wedding? Our next post comes from the Am I the a-hole subreddit, posted by Several Contests 2341. I found out that I was pregnant a couple of weeks ago, and my fiancé and I decided to share the news with our close friends and family almost immediately. My sister and I have had a pretty close relationship, but we've definitely had our moments recently. My fiancé and I thought we were going to wait until after my sister's wedding to announce my pregnancy to the rest of our friends and family. But in the moment and excitement, we just announced it. I then got a bunch of rude messages from my sister saying that I'm trying to ruin her wedding, and I'm so rude for not thinking about her in this, and that I should have waited because now her wedding will be all about me. Am I really the a-hole for announcing my incredibly exciting news? The messages from her have been so bad, I don't think I'll even be going. Please help! Down in the comments, Steffi Flies refers to a previous post from OP. You obviously have a habit of always stealing attention away from your sister. You're about to be a parent. Do better. You're the a-hole. And Cool Relative 7359 says, did OP delete their other posts? I can only see this one. So, I don't know what's in the deleted post, but I agree with this comment from a throwaway account. The fact that she'd delete previous posts is telling on its own. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.